You're listening to the Chronicles of Roosevelt Franklin podcast.
Because I know y'all don't like to read. Ba-ba-doom, boom. Pew, 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 pew. Oregon is next. Ba-ba-doom, boom. Ba-ba-doom, boom. Ba-ba-doom, doom. Ba-ba-doom, doom. Ba-ba-doom, boom. Ba-ba-doom, boom. Ba-ba-doom, boom. Ba-ba-doom. So, the universe called my phone the other day. I let it ring through the voicemail, snuggling into my pillow and pulling the weighted blanket to my neck. I desperately wanted to get back to my dream. I'd been dreaming of an enormous white bed under a plush white duvet in an infinite void. Everything was soft, downy, and hushed. My favorite dream. My favorite place. Sleep inside sleep. Infinite rest. Suddenly, my cell phone chimed and buzzed. A text message. This was odd. I had clicked my phone to silent before falling asleep. But maybe I'd forgotten. I felt a hand stroke my face. It's time to wake up. The voice was warm and gentle, reminding me of how my mother used to wake me up. But there was something else to the voice. Something deep, earthy, and resonant. The white void began to melt away as if made of liquid toffee, leaving me in my bed, comfortable but not nearly as soft as the void. I opened my eyes. My lids felt heavy, like a 5-pound weight attached to my lashes. I reached for my cell phone. The light from the phone blared, piercing the quiet afternoon darkness of the room. The text message was from the universe. It said 2 words. It's time. Just then the doorbell rang. I opened the camera app on the doorbell. A woman stood on the porch, waving to the camera. I pulled the covers aside, swung my feet to the floor, and sat up, leaving behind the warmth and weight of the blankets. The cool of the room sent a shiver through me. I sighed. I don't want to do this. I took the 16 steps to the first floor, counting each to myself. 1, I don't want to do this. 2, I don't want to do this. 3, I don't want to do this. Finally reaching 16, I don't want to do this. I pattered across the living room floor, opening the front door. The woman stood smiling warmly, her hands clasped in front of her. Hello, may I come in? Sure, I said. She looked familiar, but I couldn't place where I'd seen her. She stepped inside. Shoes on or off? Off, if you don't mind. Oh, I don't mind at all. She stepped on the back of her heels, kicking her shoes off. They were simple and looked to be made of soft gray felt. They landed, perfectly aligning against the wall in line with all the other shoes. She wore a long silk jacket that flared at the waist, ending just above her knees. Under the coat, she wore a simple black top with black leggings. The jacket was a thing of beauty. It was a rich, inky black, dotted with a bright pattern that looked like stars. But it was more than just a pattern. The stars actually twinkled. The jacket's fabric shifted around the pattern as she moved. It was like looking through a window into the night sky. I hadn't seen stars since childhood. Her face was a deep chestnut. Her hair spun away from her head in thick black coils with silver strands sprinkled throughout like tinsel. A pair of readers hung from her neck on a silver chain that sparkled like the tinsel in her hair and the stars on her jacket. I like your Spider-Man pajamas, she said. Thank you, I said. How about I make us some tea? Some tea would be good, right? She said, smoothing her jacket. She breezed past me, gliding toward the kitchen. Her scent, a blend of rain and Sao Paulo, was both heavy and light. She walked straight to the cabinet knowing exactly where everything was. She pulled the 2 glass cups used strictly for tea from the shelf. She filled the electric kettle with water, clicking the button start it boiling. The kettle sounded like gentle static. Her movements were fluid and graceful. It was as if she were in a choreographed dance. No movement was wasted. I was mesmerized. As the water boiled, she leaned against the counter. You know what I really like? I really like taking trains. I like the pace, and I love watching the people. I do too, I said, but trains can sometimes be a bit dicey. She shrugged. They can be. I still like them. As the water boiled, she pulled 2 tea bags from her pocket, dropping them into the glasses, just as the kettle clicked off. The gurgle of the boiling water subsided. She poured the water into the teacups, and the aroma of the tea filled the kitchen. It smelled rich and sweet. She handed me a cup and silently walked into the dining room, sitting at the long wooden table. I followed, grabbing the honey from the pantry. You're not going to need that, she said. She sat down, cradling the cup in her hands, nodding toward me to take a sip of my own cup. The tea was absolutely divine. It was the perfect balance of earthy and sweet. She was right. The honey was not needed. Well, she said, here we are. Her voice was light and velvety with a slight drawl like a southern grandmother's. I saw your Facebook post, by the way. I felt my stomach drop. The universe has Facebook? She pulled a phone from a pocket inside her jacket. She showed me the post I had made. It said, I'm so used to the universe kicking me in the balls that now whenever something bad happens, I just say, of course. Sorry about that, I said. No, I thought it was funny, she said. But do you know why I'm here? She asked. Is it about the Facebook post? No, it's not about the Facebook post. Oh, I paused, slightly relieved but also more confused. Then, no, I don't know why you're here. Also, I'm not sure I know who you are. Aren't you? She asked. It was phrased as a question, but it was clearly rhetorical. She took another sip of tea, smiling warmly, one eyebrow arched wryly. I did know. I'm here because it's time for you to do the thing you know you should be doing. I sighed heavily. I appreciate you coming. I really do. But I'm too tired. I mean, everything is just too much. First I got COVID, then a brain infection, and now my mom just died. Not to mention, we seem to have somehow slipped into an alternate bizarro timeline where everything bad is good and everything good is bad. I just want to sleep, like, forever. She folded her arms, leaning back in the chair. Her smile faded as she regarded me in silence. The tinsel in her hair and the stars on her jacket glinted in the silence. She glanced briefly through the stained glass window of the dining room. The light streaming through the glass danced yellow and orange on her face. A slight grin crept across her face, as if the sun had reminded her of a joke. She nodded knowingly. She slid her glasses over her eyes. Looking back at me, she said, Do you remember the African American history class you took with Dr. Juliet E.K. Walker? Yes, of course. Do you remember the first exam you took in her class? You got a D. But rather than drop the class, you returned to your small one-bedroom apartment and pinned the test to the wall, right over your desk. Yeah, I remember I wanted to remind myself of my failure. Whenever I saw that D, I would look at it and say, never again. Exactly. You talked to Dr. Walker, you asked her how to improve, and she told you, right? You ended up getting an A in her class, but more importantly, it changed you. Not only did you learn more about your history, you learned more about yourself. That's true, but at the risk of seeming rude, what's your point? Well, I'm here to tell you, you're getting a D right now. She leaned back, cradling the cup in both hands, blowing the steam off the tea. I bolted upright. Wait, what? How can I be getting a D? I'm not even in school anymore. A D in what exactly? How? She tilted her head down, regarding me over the top of her glasses. Her smile had melted away, leaving only a tiny bit of warmth that still sparkled at the corner of her eyes. Oh, I said. You mean at life. I'm getting a D in life. She took another sip of tea. Don't take it personally. A lot of people are getting D's right now, but I'm not here to talk about other people. I'm here to talk about you. It's time to wake up. It's time for you to get back to work. What am I supposed to do? I can't change what's going on by myself. I'm just a middle-aged black man in Spider-Man pajamas. Now, if you granted me the proportional strength and agility of a spider, I might be able to fight crime or something. That would be dope. I'm not giving you Spider-Man powers. That's not how things work. At least not in the reality of this particular universe. Besides, I already gave you a gift. You just need to use it. What gift? The gift of making shit up? I mean, I wouldn't put it quite like that, but yes. I mumbled. Spider powers would still be better. The universe actually chuckled at my dumb Spider-Man joke. She nodded toward my teacup sitting on the coaster. Drink your tea before it gets cold. Wait, aren't you the universe? Can't you make it so that tea never gets cold? Yes, she said, I could, but that's not the point. The point is, you need to do what you're supposed to do with what I gave you. Are we still talking about tea? I asked. Yes, she said. The kindly smile crept back into her eyes. She stood, smoothing her jacket once again with a gesture of finality. Okay, I'll leave you to it. You have a lot of work to do. She walked toward the door, slipping back into her soft biscuit-shaped shoes. I opened the door. She leaned in, kissing my cheek. She now smelled of jasmine and childhood. Do good, she whispered. She stepped onto the porch. The sunlight dappled through the trees, playing with the stars on her jacket. Can I tell people about this? I asked. Why do you think I'm here? She said, rubbing my face gently with the back of her hand. It reminded me of the touch that had woken me from my sleep. She took a deep breath and gave a small wave. We'll talk soon. Then she walked down the sidewalk, heading south toward the blue line. As I watched her walk away, I sipped the tea. It was cold. Of course, I said to myself.